Hello, this is Sandy. Welcome back to my video tutorial for the Aloha photo album, the 11 by 11 I designed for Country Craft Creations. This is a video tutorial number 4, and today we're going to start out working on page 4 and 5. We need white cardstock photo mats. We need 6 4 1/4 by 6, and then for page 5 we need one large photo mat cut at 8 1/2 by 9 1/2. And then go ahead and photo corner punch the corners, and I'm going to glue these down onto the mats or the fold outs on page 4. Before I attach my photo mats to page 4, I am applying a set of small magnets to each fold out. So just there in the center, you want one on each side that holds it closed, and then you will cover the magnets with the photo mats. And go ahead and put a magnet on each fold out flap. Like that. So I'm going to go ahead without putting tape on those. I'm going to go ahead and put the mats down, and you have them cut to fit. And again, I'm using the Art Glitter Designer Dries Clear Glue that you can order online from countrycraftcreations.com. She has the large 8-ounce refill size. You can get the 2-ounce and the 4-ounce bottle size, and the 2-ounce and 4-ounce do come with the metal tip, which helps you to control how much glue is coming out on the item that you're going to glue down. So I'm just going to glue this straight down on the front, and then I'll also do the same to the other sections of the flip out and also to the one on the bottom right. Go ahead and glue the large mat down onto page 5. Again, make sure that you leave it clear where the photo needs to go into the slots. And then you can leave this just white if you choose, leave it for a photo, but I'm going to go ahead and cut another piece of cardstock out of the blue and insert that so it's like a double mat that can be removed to be replaced by a photo, or a photo can be actually attached to the blue. It just depends on the look that the recipient wants for their photo and the size of their photo. So I'm just going to position this here on page 5, burnish it down, make sure you get any excess glue up. You don't want it gluing the corner sections down. If you want to put the extra cardstock down, measure between the notches on the white mat and then cut your cardstock. I'm using the blue, so I'm going to cut that down to size. And this would be the same size if you were using a full photo into those photo corners. So I'm cutting it down each direction so that it fits, and I may have to trim a little bit more. Just going to check and see how it fits now. And this is not going to be glued down. I'm just going to insert this into the corners. Just have to lift up a little bit and then get that corner in. See if it fits or not. If it doesn't lay flat, then you need to trim a little bit more. See how it does down here at the bottom. And this could be used as a template too for your large photo once you decide to put one in. So this way you've already done all the measuring and fitting it into the corners. To see if it lays down flat. So yeah, I think I need to trim just a little bit more off. just probably about a 1/4 inch there on that one. And I think I'll go ahead and trim off a little bit on the other side. These corners that are punched like this, they hold really well, and that way your photos are not permanently attached. I think there's different kinds of punches by different brands. I know Fiskars has some, so you can just check online and see what you can find that are currently available of the different types of corner punches. I think you would Google photo corner punch. Okay, so that fits much better. 4 and 5, pages 4 and 5 are finished, but they look a little plain. So I think we should take some of the stickers, and I've added stickers on the right on page 5, the little palm tree. And I also went ahead and punched out some paper with a scallop punch, a circle, and cut those in half and glued those on the edge. Now remember, I had left it where you could tuck it under if you wanted to. So mine are just glued right on the edge. So that gives these little tabs to show that you actually can lift that up. And I'm pulling some more stickers off. I like the flowers. So I'm going to stick some of those onto the tab there that I created to just kind of bring in some more different color. I'll put another one here on the other one. And when you insert your photos, it will go over the stickers a little bit, but that's okay. So we've got this mat on, and I did put the palm tree down onto the blue mat. And I think now we're ready, unless I decide to add more stickers, we're ready to move on to pages 6 and 7. For page 6, we're going to create a waterfall section. You need to cut from white cardstock one piece 8 3/4 inches by 5 1/2 inches, one piece at 6 inch by 5 1/2 inches, and you're going to score that 6 inch side at a 1/2 inch and 1 inch. And then you need to cut 10 at 5 1/2 by 5 1/2, and you'll score one side only at a 1/4 inch. This will create the one waterfall section for page 6. If you're wanting a waterfall section for the inside of your cover like I did for mine, you will create another section just like this one. So you'll do the same thing if you want 2 of these instead of just 1. So I've already pre-cut my papers, and I'm going to pick up the one that is cut to 6 inches by 5 1/2 inches. I'm going to lay the largest one aside and go ahead and put it in your scoreboard and score on the 6 inch side at a 1/2 inch and 1 inch. Now this will create the closure piece for your waterfall. Fold both score lines and burnish, and this makes the closure piece that we will attach to the right side of the base of the waterfall after we have added our waterfall flaps. So I'm burnishing it, getting it ready. You'll see that it will have a 1/2 inch gusset there to accommodate the waterfall flaps and photos that you add in. And I'm just going to show you right quick. Well, first I'm going to get my chomper. I'm going to corner around the 2 bottom corners opposite of the hinge, and I'm going to make a 1/4 inch rounded corner with my chomper. So this is the closure piece. And later when we attach it, we will glue the 1/2 inch to the right side. This will make the flap over that closes, and the waterfall pieces sections go on the left side. So now let's go ahead and take our waterfall pieces. These are 5 1/2 by 5 1/2. If you wanted them exactly squared after you score, then you would need to add a 1/4 inch on the hinge side, but I did mine all the same size, so they're not perfectly square, but I'm okay with that. You make these the size that you need for your photos. So now I'm just taking the little 1/4 inch hinge on the waterfall flap, and this is the first one. I have the base cardstock laying on my counter, and I'm just gluing this hinge right along the left edge. Make sure it's straight on the top and the bottom, and burnish it down. Lift your flap back and burnish the little hinge. Use the bone folder. And make sure that it's straight. And go ahead and open the flap back again. Take another waterfall flap. Apply glue to that 1/4 inch hinge. And you're going to glue this right up against the cut line of the previous flap. So this will leave you a 1/4 inch space between each flap. So continue doing this for all 10, and then once they're all assembled on here, and always make sure they're as straight as possible, then you will attach that closure piece to the right once all the flaps are on. All the flaps are attached, and then you're going to open up all the flaps to the left, and you take that closure piece that you made with the 1/2 inch gusset, and you're going to apply glue to just the 1/2 inch section, the first 1/2 inch section of it, and glue that to the base piece of your waterfall. So I'm putting the glue right here on the inside, just on the 1/2 inch section, and then line it up. Make sure it's straight right up against the fold line. And this creates like a waterfall wallet, and this piece will be able to be glued down into your page of your album, and you're going to have a closure to hold all your waterfalls shut and that you can decorate. So I've burnished it, got it all ready to go, and we're going to flip these back into it, and so you see your waterfalls there on the left, and then this closure piece goes over it. So next you want to make sure that you have a closure like a magnet or something that you want to put on it, or perhaps you want to tie it with ribbon, however you want to do it. I'm going to use both on mine. I'm going to use the magnet to hold it closed, and then I'm going to add a string tie because I just like the way it looks with the paper line. So here I've got my magnets, and you need one set, and that would be a plus and a minus. This is the large size, and I've put them together with the paper out. Peel the paper backing off of one, lift up your flap on the right side and put down your magnet, and then separate them, or rather pull the paper backing off the second one, and then close your booklet back up. Make sure it's lined up straight. Make allowance for the 1/2 inch gusset there on the right under my hand, and then press it down where you want it to attach. Then gently lift up to separate the magnets, and they should be in place where they're needed to close. And since I'm not ready yet to pattern, I'm going to need to cut the papers. I'm going to go ahead and cover these with a little bit of score tape to make sure they stay secure. Now if you're making a second one, you would make it the exact same way. This one will go on page 6, and then the second one that I made I will put in the inside cover of the album. So you open it up, and this is where it's going to go. So I already have mine in. So actually the one I just showed you how to make is the one for the inside cover. So I've added patterned paper to the front and some stickers on the page. And at first I thought about putting it here, and you could do that. There's nothing wrong with having two across from each other. I was just checking the thickness of that section to see, and I think that it will work better where I finally ended up putting it, which is on the inside cover. For page 7, I decided to create a flat pocket, so cut from cardstock one piece at 4.5 inches by 10 3/8, and from pattern cardstock, and you can use your scraps, cut 3 that are 10 1/4 inches tall by 1 1/2 inches wide, and one that is 6 1/2 inches tall by 4 1/2 inches wide. I have my papers pre-cut. I'm going to set the patterned ones aside. I'm going to take the white cardstock that I cut for the flat pocket, and we're going to attach this to page 7 to create a pocket for tags. Now I'm putting mine on the right side and opening to the left. You could put yours on the left side, opening to the right, whichever you prefer. I'm going to use the glue, and on one side of the cardstock I'm going to apply a line of glue on both short edges and then along one long edge. So this is just a flat pocket. It doesn't have any hinges, and I'm just going to attach it flat right down onto the pattern paper of the page. Okay, once you have your glue on, turn it over and attach it to the right side. You want the bottom edge of the pocket right up against the cut edge of the page on the right, and line up the top and the bottom, and you want it down flat. So put it down, burnish with your hands, and then take a bone folder and burnish those glue lines to make sure that it sticks down, and wipe off any excess if you need to. So there's the pocket attached, and then we're ready to add pattern paper to it. So I use scraps of paper, and I'm going to be laying these down in rows to create a like stripe pocket. So I'm just putting the glue on the back side of one piece. I'm going to attach that to the left side where the opening is. And I'm using the water wave paper. Get that on straight, right on the pocket. Don't put it over the edge. You don't want to seal your pocket shut. So put that one down, and then the next one I'm going to use is the beach. But I think before I do that, I'll go ahead and put the water one on the right side. This way I can have it more balanced and can see where to put the beach sand piece. So I'm applying glue. On the back side, and so I'm attaching this one down. Now because it's scraps, you'll notice that the waves are going different directions, but once everything comes together you really don't notice it. So I didn't want to waste anything, so I was getting kind of low, and so I decided to use it this way. Wipe off the excess glue and burnish that down. Now I'm ready to add the beach sand and umbrella piece there in the middle, so that way I can see where I need to put it to balance it out. It may overlap just a little bit, and again put glue on the back side and attach this down. Take the remaining piece of pattern paper that you cut earlier and put it in your scoreboard with the short edge at the top, and score at 1/4 inch, like a 1/4 inch score. So we're going to have a narrow little hinge here. Fold the score line and burnish, and this will create a little flap that is attached to the pocket of page 7. So burnish the hinge, make sure that it lays down flat, and I'm just going to see where I want to put it. You can put it at on the top edge of the page or the center, and you want to make sure that it's going to attach to just the pocket, not to the actual page. So you can decide where you want to put it, whatever elements you want to show that's underneath. I like it, let's see the top, I like it better drop down where you see the little umbrella. So I'm going to apply glue to the inside of the 1/4 inch hinge. And this is a fun way to add some flaps after you've already assembled your page and your pockets, and that you know you need another flap, and you can just make it out of the patterned paper. That way the front and the back are already patterned. You don't have to add anything. You can add photo mats. So I'm just burnishing that inside the pocket. Make sure there's no glue sticking down on the page, because we don't want to seal the pocket up. And then I'm going to burnish that down. So there's a little flap there that opens up. And I'm going to measure this real quick. Measure yours and decide what size photo mat you might want, or it's a good place for a journaling box too, that you might want to add to yours. So I have some white cardstock scraps, and I'm going to cut this down to a photo mat at the size that I want for that inside flap. And I did not give you the measurements for this because it might depend on what size photo you want to add in there. But I am going to go ahead, and I'm looking for my punch. There it is, my photo punch, photo corner punch, and I'm punching the corners of this one also. So I'm trying to keep it real consistent throughout the book and use the same corner punch for these photo mats. So that's going to fit right there. You can make yours smaller if you wanted to. I'm going to go ahead and add the glue and attach this down. And I'm burnishing it real well to make sure it kind of lays flat, because I did not use a magnet on this one, and it's not really necessary. You could add a clip or something if you wanted to hold that flap down. So after thinking about it, I did decide to go ahead and put a photo mat on top of the pocket. So I'm just adding that here. So that would be optional. It depends on how many photos you think you might need to put into the album. So any extra place where you can add a photo is a bonus. So I'm gluing this down and making sure that I line it up with the other photo mat, so that when that flap closes, that the photo mat does not show. So I'm just going to wipe that off, and there it is. It's closed right there on the side. Off camera, I measured and cut 2 of the royal blue cardstock photo mats. You see one there on the bottom and one at the top, and punch the corners. Measure your section of where the pocket is, does not go over the page, and cut photo mats or one photo mat that you might need for your photos. I also added stickers there in the center between the 2 photo mats, and now I am making tags. I took scraps of paper and I measured so that I would have 3 to go in the pocket, 2 of the same pattern, and 1 with the birds. And I'm using my angle punch to punch the top edge of the tags, and then a corner rounder for the bottom. Now you can punch a hole in your tags, add ribbon, string, whatever you want to. I am going to punch some scallop circles, attach those to the top edge of each one, and then add a flower that I want to use that matches the flowers that I'll be using on the cover of the album. So these just insert into the pocket here, and you can just leave them as tags, or you can convert them by punching the corners with the photo corner punch to make them into photo mats. So I think I will make my tags actual photo mats. I'm taking them all out, and I have my photo punch. I'm going to go ahead and punch those corners. And I've already punched my scallop circles. There you see them laying on my page. and these will be attached to just one edge in the center of each tag. And you can leave them this way without any flower, but I will be adding some flowers later on as I decorate the cover of the album. You will also notice that off camera I added stickers to the waterfall set and a twine wrap tie, and then on the pocket on the page 7 under the tags that I'm working on right now, I also added 2 cut aparts and placed them on at an angle on the front of the flap, photo flap, and then I also added some stickers there to finish it all off, and I added a little tab to the photo flap. To create a closure piece for the left side of page 8, cut cardstock. You need one at 6 inch by 8 inch and score your 8 inch side at a 1/2 inch. So I have mine pre-cut, and I'm putting it in the scoreboard. So you want the 8 inch length at the top and just make 1/2 inch score. Go ahead and fold that score line and burnish. And round the corners. I rounded mine with the 1/4 inch corner rounder, and this flap will attach to the left side of page 8. So I'm lifting up the large flaps, and I will attach this to the left side right along the cut edge of the page. So I'm going to add glue, and I'm just checking this to make sure that when it's on there with the flaps closed that it fits right. So I'm going to do this on the inside. I've decided add some glue into that 1/2 inch hinge. This way I can see where the separation is for the 2 large flaps, and I'm going to just stick this in so that it lines up right along the cut edge. Open this up and then burnish it down. So that's the closure flap for the left side of page 8. So then we're going to make another one for the right side that will be shorter. I am going to go ahead now though and put magnets on this flap on the back side. Peel the backing off. These are the large magnet snaps that you can get from countrycraftcreations.com. I'm going to place this one on the back side of the flap. Then I'm going to lift up these flaps, attach the opposing magnet, pull the paper backing off, press down so that it attaches to the page, gently lift it up, and the magnet is where it needs to be. So I'm going to cover that up with score tape so it doesn't come loose. And I'll do it to the one on the flap as well. This is to keep them in place until I add my patterned paper. So now I'm ready to cut and score the flap for the right side. For page 8, we'll make an extra closure flap for the right side. Cut one at 6 inch by 5 3/4. Score your 5 3/4 inch side at a 1/2 inch. So I've put mine in the scoreboard, and I am scoring that 5 3/4 inch side at a 1/2 inch. Fold and burnish the score line. That's going to fit right there on the right. It should match up the size, height size of the flap we already attached, closure. And go ahead and round the corners opposite of the score lines. So this is the 1/4 inch chomper corner punch. And then I'm going to apply glue to the 1/2 inch hinge. and slide that in and match it up to the closure flap that we already attached to the left side. So you want to make sure that they line up, and make sure that the fold line of this flap does not go over the fold line of your album. So burnish that, lift up and burnish it well. And if you got any glue on one of your flaps like I did, just take a baby wipe and wipe that off real quick. I'm just checking to make sure that it closes up good. And that glue, it comes off. I'm going to take a damp wipe and go ahead and get that off. I should have opened that flap down so that I didn't get glue on it. So it'll be covered up by pattern paper, so it'll be okay. I'm going to burnish my flap again. And that is page 8 with its large flaps and closure flaps, and it's ready to be patterned with pattern paper. Go ahead and pattern all the flaps and the inside main page of page 8. Use different patterns of paper that you may have left. You can piece scraps together like I did on the right with the yellow stripe. Use what you have. I'm going to put this pink one here in the center, so measure and make sure that everything fits in and doesn't hinder any of the flaps that fold. You want to make sure the paper is cut, trimmed down enough that it doesn't go across any of your fold lines. And again, just use your glue to pattern all these sections. You want to make sure you have your flaps on the inside and outside covered. Since I used a scrap of the yellow stripe there on the right side on the inside flap, I'm going to put a piece of scrap of the matching paper stripe on the left side also to pull this all together. So I'm going to go ahead and speed this up so that you can see what I'm doing as far as patterning this, and then we will add photo mats for page 8. For photo mats for page 8 out of white cardstock, cut out the sizes that you need for your own photos. I cut out 4 4-inch by 5, 3 4-inch by 6, 2 3 by 5s, and 2 4-inch by 4-inch photo mats. And I have them all laying out here on the album pages and the flaps. I have already added some in on the flaps. I did punch the corners and add stickers and cut aparts that you like. And I'm going to go ahead, these on the inside, I'm going to also punch the corners for them and then glue them all into the page and into the main flaps. We're going to end tutorial video number 4 by cutting large photo mats out of cardstock to insert into the photo sleeves, page sleeves of our large pages I cut 4 for mine. They're 9 3/4 inches by 9 3/4 inches and rounded the corners. You can cut as many as you might need, like 3 or 4 for each sleeve pocket as necessary for your photos. I'm going to leave mine blank. I'm not going to add any patterned paper to these, and I'm going to insert them to one into each page of the album. I have pre-cut my large photo mats, and I am just inserting them into each page pocket sleeve to make sure that they're the size that I want. And I'm going to pull them out now and go ahead and round the corners and make any adjustments to the sizes if necessary. So go ahead and do that with yours. You can also add a scalloped circle punch to the edge to show as a tab on the very edge of one of your photo mats if you desire. And go ahead and do that, and I'm going to end this video for today. On video 5 of the tutorial, I will show you how to put your covers on your album, how to put your curved spine on, and also how to make a decorative belly band that is optional. If you want to leave your album plain but you still want to have some decorating with flowers and things, you can put that on a belly band, which is what I decided to do. So I hope to have video 5 ready in the next day or two, so please check back, and thank you so much for watching.